Some more immigration promises from the Biden team. Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States at our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. If you have subscribed to this YouTube channel, which you should do if you haven't already, then you know that we spend a lot of time on our Immigration Answers show and on this channel talking about the long delays at USCIS and at the State Department. Now, back in March, about 6 months ago, USCIS made these grand declarations, these grand promises. They even came up with a tidy chart, which we're going to put here into the video. And you'll see in the video, Jadu, the head of USCIS, and the agency itself made some promises. They said that within 18 months, they were going to vastly speed up the processing times. And now that we're 1/3 of the way through their 18-month promise, we thought we would take a look at how things are going. Now, Jadu, the head of USCIS, promised that by the end of 2023, USCIS will be processing work cards and advanced parole in about 3 months, and that naturalization and green card cases would take 6 months. Now, we are so far away from that as a reality that it seems very, very unlikely that they're going to reach their stated goal. Now, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We'll wait and see, and we'll give them the time that they asked for. Now, it's interesting to me that these grand pronouncements usually come when the agency is headed towards Congress to ask for more money to run the agency. They make these grand promises about what they're going to do, but they don't talk about what they have done, right? And so what I can tell you is, based on what we're seeing at our office and on the calls that I receive at our Immigration Answers live show, that people are not seeing these fast turnarounds that USCIS has promised. We've heard anecdotally, one little story here, one little story there, about some amazing person who got super lucky and got their work card in, say, 2 months, right? But for the most part, what we're hearing is much more the opposite, much more of delay, much more, I've been waiting a year for my work card, and I'm waiting a year for my advanced parole. I can't leave the United States to go see my sick mother because USCIS can't get off their ass and decide my work card and my travel card. Now, don't forget, these work and travel cards are temporary solutions that are supposed to hold you in good stead until you receive your green card. They're supposed to bridge that gap between when you file and when you get your green card. And right now, as one of the commenters on our YouTube channel pointed out, you're getting your work and travel card either right around the time you get your green card or right before the interview, or sometimes even after you get your green card, which does you no good. So this is the agency's reality. This is not the pie-in-the-sky promises that people like Jadu are making about what they're going to do in fiscal year 2023. Instead, all I can tell you is what we're seeing on the ground. And what we're seeing on the ground is that for the vast majority of people, 98% of people, they're experiencing the same delays, the same wait times, the same processing delays that we were seeing during the Trump administration. I believe that it sounds like there's people at USCIS who want to make this better, but I want you to understand that you've got to take what they're saying with a big grain of salt. You have to ask yourself, boy, is this real? Is this realistic, what we're hearing? Is this actually happening? Because I can tell you, or you can just come on the show and find out for yourself, that this is not the reality for most immigrants. Now, I bring all this up because the State Department is trying to get in on the act. Now, the State Department issued a statement last week in which they gave grand statistics where they're talking about how much faster they're doing. And in some of the statistics, they're saying that they're at 125% of capacity. They're just processing immigrant visas left and right. And they have all these statistics about how they're getting student visas done faster. They're getting all kinds of non-immigrant visas done faster. They're getting E-2 visas done faster. And they even claim that they've whacked down the delays on immigrant visas. Now, again, back in 2021, when things were really bad, they were almost at 450,000 cases in their backlog. They claim that they have knocked down 135,000 of those. Now, that still leaves well over 300,000 long delayed immigrant visa applications. And they talk about even specific embassies. They talk about how things are going faster in Honduras or even in Juarez for Mexican immigrants who want to come to the United States. They've picked and choose the embassies that they think are working a little bit faster, but they're not talking about the fundamental problem. And the fundamental problem is they're still not putting enough resources in processing these cases, and they're not making it a priority to get these cases back on track. They say that they are, and again, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but don't believe the hype. Don't believe that what they say they're going to do, they will actually do. We've been hearing about speeding things up at immigration for decades, and the agency is just as slow and plodding as the State Department. The two agencies in tandem have ground this nation's immigration process to a halt. And while we applaud the sentiment, we're going to sit back. And of course, our home office is in St. Louis, Missouri. The state motto in Missouri is "Show me." So we're going to wait for them to show us. We want them to show us what they're made of, whether or not they're going to be able to make these lawsuits go away. We have filed over 1,300 lawsuits for immigrants who've been waiting for a really long time. As of right now, at the time of shooting this video on November 1st, 2022, that need for our services, those needs for lawsuits are not going away anytime soon. I hope they put the lawsuits out of business. I would love nothing better than to have a USCIS agency and the State Department operating at full capacity, doing their job, and to make our lawsuits go away. Now, do I think that'll ever happen? No, I don't, for two reasons. One is they're never going to get as fast as they promise. But more importantly, and the real trick here is that they pick and choose which cases they work on. So even as some cases start getting sped up, there are always going to be cases, and maybe yours is one of them, that they decide for whatever reason to not work on at this time. And it's the lawsuit that gets their attention. It's the lawsuit that says, hey, you guys may be making things go faster in other types of cases or even in cases of my type, but for other people. But for me, my case is still delayed. It's way outside processing times, which of course the processing times are ridiculous because they just keep putting that back. But even taking them at their word, at face value, my case is outside normal processing times and I'm not getting the answers that I deserve. I'm not getting a final decision. So we applaud Jadu. Yay, We applaud Tony Blinken. Yay, Tony. Thanks for all your hard efforts. Now, hopefully these agencies will turn it around. And like I said, lawsuits will become a thing of the past. But I'm not optimistic, and I don't think you should be either. But time will tell. So if you're thinking about how long your case has been taking, and if you think that you don't trust Jadu and Tony Blinken to get things moving at these agencies, give us a call at 314-961-8200, and we can sue USCIS or we can sue the State Department for you. Otherwise, you can email us if you're thinking about filing a lawsuit, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Now, if you just want more information or to find some free resources, we have some good ones. We have our YouTube channel with over 1,500 videos on there where we answer almost every single conceivable immigration question that we can think of. And if we haven't done a video on that already, you're feel free to let us know on our Immigration Answer Show. You can come on the Immigration Answer Show, ask me a question. I'll try to answer it. If I don't know the answer, we'll try to shoot a video to answer that question so that everybody can share in on the knowledge. And then, of course, we have our Facebook group. It's called Immigrant Home. If you want to join Facebook group Immigrant Home, it's free. Doesn't cost anything, and there's lots of information in there. We post a lot of our immigration news in there, and it's a great way to stay abreast as to what's going on in the U.S. immigration system. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.